This morning on Up with KREM, we are taking a closer look at travel recommendations across the state. Of course, we'll also tell you what health leaders are recommending during the pandemic.
You can look at it and see how much travel has happened, where people travel to, and so on.
Today, we'll show you how cell phones are being used to anonymously track travel this year.
And this year's online shopping is expected to be especially high. But that means fake websites, phony emails, and outright shopping scams are also on the rise. I'll show you what you need to watch out for when you're picking out your holiday gifts.
And rumors are circulating of a vaccine getting to Washingtonians as early as Christmas. We'll let you know how likely that rumor is and who would get it first.
And the wind is calming down across the region. We're still hanging on to some of those clouds and high elevation snow. I'm going to let you know when we finally dry out.
Up with KREM begins now.
It is 7:01 this morning. Thank you for joining us here on Up with KREM. We want to help you send a message to the family that you can't see during the holidays this year, so we can pass that message along. Now take a look at this message we've gotten this morning, new this morning, from a viewer that watches Up with KREM. It says, "I want to send love to my son, Damon Higby. He will not be with us this Thanksgiving. He was born on Thanksgiving in 1995, and it was the biggest blessing ever. December 4th, 2019, he gave the ultimate gift of life, heart, lungs, kidneys, and liver, all to save others. He is our hero." Now, is there someone that you want to send a message to that you were wishing you saw this week? Send us your own message at 509-448-2000. We would love to share your message this morning. Now, Jeremy, when you and I were reading this message this morning, it hit you particularly hard, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's so incredible that people donate and give life to others. I had a friend growing up who donated and was an organ donor and saved many lives. And it is a silver lining in a tragedy that it just hurts so bad. But if you can, just become a donor. And it's just easy. On your license, you just fill out the little thing and you can save many lives after you're done here.
Thanks for sharing that with us, Jeremy.
All right, well, let's go ahead and do weather early on this morning. We do have a little bit of cloud cover. We talked about some of that wind that we've been seeing this morning. Wind is starting to die down, and that's a sign of things to come. We are looking at a much calmer pattern as we head into the next couple of days. Early on this morning, temperatures are staying rather mild. 32 degrees there in Coeur d'Alene, 34 in Sandpoint, 31 here in Spokane. In mid-30s as you make your way into the Columbia Basin. It's a bit warmer there, but we do have quite a bit of cloud cover. Picking that up on the satellite and radar, a couple of stray showers popping up in a few areas, especially once you get up high in elevation. As we scoot through the day today, expect temperatures to rise, so morning snow will start to taper off, and as we get into the afternoon, warmer temperatures mean that a lot of the snow this morning turns into slush by this afternoon. Dana Marie?
All right, Jeremy, thank you. This morning, we do want to take a look at the Snoqualmie Pass. Overnight snow has made some of the passes really difficult to drive. A weather advisory is in place until 10 a.m. this morning in the Cascades. Now, this means if you are going over Snoqualmie Pass, taking a live look at that over to go to Seattle, make sure to check those road conditions. Now, at this point, in both directions, traction tires are advised and oversized vehicles are prohibited. You can see that there is now snow and slush on the roadway. It is actively snowing, not really looking good out there. Visibility is low. If you're also traveling on Stevens Pass, right now in both directions, traction tires are advised. Oversized vehicles are prohibited, and there is compact snow and ice on the road. It's been snowing this morning over there on Stevens Pass. On White Pass, it is also snowing. There is snow and slush on the roadway. Traction tires are advised in both directions. And you can find immediate information on Twitter from wash._passes. Joshua?
Well, health leaders are sharing their concerns that the Thanksgiving holiday will intensify the surging coronavirus pandemic. Up to 48 million Americans are expected to hit the roads to get to their Thanksgiving destinations this year, with millions more set to travel by air. So we find our Nicole Hernandez joining us from the Spokane International Airport this morning. Good morning, Nicole. You've been there a few hours now. What's it looked like today?
Yeah, Joshua, you know what? We were here last year, and now this year looks a lot different. There's really been barely any people lined up in the terminal here. The longest line we saw didn't even reach those barriers that you're seeing right here. So it's been a very slow day at the airport this morning. And this is all after health experts across the country have been asking people to spend the holiday at home, not traveling with as few members of your family as possible. Now, that did end up happening. New numbers tracked by the Washington Department of Transportation finds that in Washington, at least, people are traveling less. Right now, the data shows road travel is down by 22% compared to where we would have been at this time in pre-COVID 2019. Now, you might be wondering where this data is coming from. Scientists are actually using our cell phone data to anonymously track our movement. The cell data doesn't track you as a person. It's all anonymous, but when it's all collected together, it says a lot.
There is data that could track you in a store, for example, how many people went to a place. So that data on mobility is very good and very rich. You can look at it and see how much travel has happened, where people travel to, and so on.
Now, things have been slowing down for several weeks. A week ago, the expected ICU beds needed by February was almost 794. But a week later, that demand was down by 127. Considering the state has 341 ICU beds, that's still pretty bad, but a little bit less catastrophic. The TSA has cut the increase it was expecting during the peak travel days this Wednesday and Sunday by about half. They're still going up, but just not as much. And with that said, some people, of course, still do need to be getting on a plane for whatever reason, whether it's a family emergency or an unexpected reason. But remember, if you do make that decision to get on a plane, to go ahead and do that safely, make sure you're wearing a mask. And remember, it is still a risk. Most of the airlines here do have a no mask, no travel policy. But if you decide not to wear a mask on their planes, that will jeopardize your future in being able to fly with that airline. Live in Spokane, I'm Nicole Hernandez.
We'll keep our eyes on the airport with you, Nicole, all morning long. It is time now for your morning rush. More news in less time. U.S. Marshals found 4 children in Coeur d'Alene who have been missing since 2012. According to the Department of Justice, their mother, Segalit McRoberts, who does not have custody of them, was arrested.
When a child's involved, we want to make sure we do things right the first time because of the potential elevated risks and the opportunity to safely recover a child could be missed.
McRoberts allegedly abducted the children in California more than 8 years ago after a judge granted full custody of the kids to her ex-husband. An investigation led to the discovery of McRoberts and the missing children living at an RV park. Coming up in our second half hour, we will share how the Marshals found the children after so many years. Second Harvest reports their need for food assistance has increased by about 33% this year. And when it comes to hungry children, they say the need is up by 43%. Now, prior to COVID, a typical month for Second Harvest meant 2.2 million pounds of food distribution, but right now it's jumped to 4 million pounds per month. Also, in the first 9 months of 2020, Second Harvest hosted 119 mobile food banks. That's compared to 419 mobile food banks during the same time this year. There's an ordinance proposed by Spokane City Council on Monday that would raise sales tax by 0.1% to help pay for more affordable city housing. Councilmember Karen Stratton says while she understands people might be wary of a tax increase right now, it is crucial investment that the city desperately needs.
If we can get people housed, living, working, staying in Spokane, we're not going to have people that have to get on state assistance because they can't afford housing. So to me, we pay for it now or we pay for it later.
Council estimates estimates the cost to average family is about $25 per year, raising $6 million overall. COVID-19 cases continue to increase significantly every day in Spokane County. Local contact tracers with Spokane Regional Health say they're facing a large volume of cases with a new strategy.
The contacts that we want to directly follow up with are people that have been the case has exposures in a high-risk setting. So congregate living is a really good example right now, which includes shelters, long-term care environments.
Health District representatives say many of our local cases come from smaller celebrations of 5 to 10 people who do not share a household. That is your Morning Rush. More news in less time. Let us know what's happening in your neighborhood by using the hashtag #UpWithKREM on social media. Dana Marie?
Now, if a price of a PS5 is too good to be true this Friday, it probably is. Black Friday sales are just getting underway, and this morning I'm talking about the scams to be aware of. Also, we had an update on the status of coronavirus vaccines, including how early we could see them here in Washington.